Hello, welcome to another video on the Noble. Today, chassis modification, track day sump install, and potentially even new rocker covers going on as well. So, as you may have noticed, this is not my normal garage. I am in Devon at my parents' house where we have a smaller lift. You might have seen some of my other videos where we had a classic Mini up on the lift. So the classic Mini is sat outside behind the front of the Noble there. The Noble's got the front and rear clams off just to make it easier. We're going to drive it straight on and have a go at doing some chassis modifications. So here is the track day sump for the Noble. You can see where it's extended underneath. So it's basically this whole piece that's welded onto the standard sump, and it obviously is in there because of your heavy cornering, heavy accelerating, heavy braking like you would on a track. On the standard sump it can get oil starvation. So along with the track day sump you also need the pickup, which has been extended so it can sit right down in there. It's all very nicely packaged up with a brand new gasket put on it. Thank you very much, Jetstream. I will put a link to the website in the description. So there it is. That's what's going to be going on the car, but first things first, you've got to modify the chassis to get the old sump out. So I've got to get the car up onto this portable lift. Right. She on?
Yeah, if you get it on those things, yeah.
Yeah, she's on the jack points where she's supposed to be. So here she is, up on the scissor lift, which is going to make my job a lot easier, apart from those screws there. But ultimately it should be a lot easier now. So there are like 100 or something screws under here to get off, and the challenge I've got is the height to get them off in. But we will overcome. For those of you that may have seen wheeler dealers with the Noble M12 on it, Ed China had to do this exact thing and the chassis mod. So if you want to see a bit more detail, maybe check that out. Progress so far. Now again, if you've watched the wheeler dealers, you'll know what needs to be done here. So, turbo drain off, oil filter off, the link pipe up to the cat has come off. That was very, very fiddly, and I've just marked up where to cut the chassis member, so that is the next section to remove. I've also disconnected the battery. So it's good to go.
Makes sense.
So the sump is now off. I've taken off the oil pickup. It's looking very clean in there. I panicked initially because I saw this hanging out the bottom. It's like, oh my god, the bloody cable tie in there. No, that is the dipstick. What dipstick? So I've got to clean all this up, get that absolutely immaculate, and then the other sump can go back on. What we've found here is, it looks like there was some damage and then someone's put some mastic in. You can see it there, and there's mastic just at these 2 points. And funny enough, that's exactly where it was leaking. So that could have been the main cause. I also not sure why there should be mastic in here. I don't know if that's standard. I don't think it is, but anyway. So this is the bar, the removable bar. It's very hot at the moment, welded up, so I'm just going to clean it up a little bit with a grinder, lenish it a bit, and then I will spray that up. But that basically bolts straight in, nice and lovely, in the bottom of the chassis, nice and tight as well. Here's the bar. I got some good penetration on the weld. Forgive the slight wonkiness of that one. Yeah, looking very good. So finished for the day. The chassis bar is done. It's not in that. I'll show you that in a minute, but you can see where I've cut the chassis. I've just touched in the paint, and then I've been cleaning up under here with some synthetic wire wool, just to make sure that there is no... I'm going to do it again tomorrow, but I obviously want to make sure that that is completely free of debris and cleaned to the max. You can see there's a little drop of oil coming here, so I have to bear that in mind tomorrow. I've got plenty of brake cleaner which will take that off nicely. But yeah, so sump's out, chassis cut, and then it'll be a question of tomorrow, new sump on, mustn't forget to pick up, and yeah, bar back in and everything back together. Hopefully I'll have it done by lunchtime. Here is the track day sump. I've cleaned the surface literally as best as I can with some 2500 grit, but you can still see that there's imperfections. Realistically, the only way to get rid of those, I think, is to have it machined, but I'm not sure if that's standard. The other case looks exactly the same on the top. Obviously the gasket, I've wiped it and cleaned it, and it's got this rubber inlay, which the idea is that compresses down into something. I don't know, if the surfaces were too smooth, maybe it wouldn't work as well. So that's that. And then if we come over here, the extended pickup is in place now, up under there. I've cleaned this surface again, so it's immaculate. And now I'm ready to put the sump on. So this is the track day sump. You can see this big, basically capacity that's been welded onto it, to the original sump. But of course fitting it back in is a lot harder because you can't get to all the bolts because of this. And there's two in particular which are right up there, as you can see. And the bolts that came off don't fit. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So this is what I mean. This is the bolt that would normally go up there. Now, just to give you an idea, it won't actually fit in that gap. The bolt head is too big. So this is my plan, is to use these bolts. It's not ideal, but obviously it needs something in there, and I think it will work quite well. And yeah, just stick them in there and try that. So my little idea, it worked quite well. There's those two bolts up under there. There's bolts all up under there. I've been around, torqued everything. Now I've got to connect the drain pipe from the turbo and from the catch can, and then the exhaust section can go in, and then the oil filter can go back on. It's coming together. Not an easy job though. So both the catch can return and the oil drain return is in, that side and at the back, which I'll show you now. So there's the return on the back, and I've also got this section of exhaust in, which means that I need to clamp that up, but then I can also put the oil cooler on as well, and then I can put the bar back in. Hopefully it works. So there we are, everything is connected, exhaust, the lot. There's the track day sump, the chassis removable bar is in, which is looking good. Job is done, just need to put the under tray on and we're good to go. So the Noble is now back down, track day sump fitted. The final job of that is to fill up with oil. What I've decided to do is not go with changing the rockers at the moment, the rocker covers, purely because I haven't got a huge amount of time left, and I think the job's going to take me a lot longer, and I want to get uprated valve springs in it later on in the year, which means the rockers have got to come off then anyway. So rather than trying to attempt that now, I'm just going to fill it back up with oil, and that'll be that. So, excellent. The one thing I do need to point out though is that I didn't cut the hole in the aluminium sheet for the new sump plug before I put it on. I only noticed after I've fitted it. So it does mean that after an hour of fitting out on my back, I'm going to have to take it off, cut the hole and put it back on again. But I can't be asked to do it today. I think I'll wait until it goes in for a service and have the valve springs done, and then ask the guys at Jetstream to do that, maybe. But there we are. So there we are. The track day sump is in. The job was a lot more complex because I didn't consider the fact that the sump is much bigger, so getting to a lot of the bolts was a lot harder. But it's in, it's done, it's great. Bit of a problem in the fact that it does still leak, but not out the sump now. There's actually a little bolt on the side of the sump that's just weeping just a bit, so I'm not sure what's going to go on about that. It's not a bolt that goes into the sump, it's actually a bolt that goes into the side of the casing. So what I've done for now is I've cleaned it all up and just put a very small amount of sealer around it just to try and slow it down if anything. But the amount that comes out is very small. But the main thing is the track day sump's on. I'm really pleased. I haven't bothered to change the rocker covers just yet. I'm going to leave that job and probably get that done later on in the year. But for now, the Noble is parked up, good to go. And then I'm going to head back to Worthing very soon. Thanks for watching. Good morning, gorgeous.